My name's John, and as you can see, I'm the only one here. I'm going to give you a quick movie review, very quick. We're going to be looking at probably 15 minutes or so, of a film that I like, I've seen many times, and it's not really a film in the classic sort of perspective that we look at. The film itself was produced by, or made by Horizon, produced by the BBC, in two 1-hour parts. The film is called Bravo 20. Some people may have seen it, some people may not. I'm going to give you a quick read, I'm going to give you a quick, I'm going to read something out for you about what the film is about, for those who haven't seen it. Okay? Andy McNab's Bravo 20, because Andy McNab wrote the book. We'll talk a little bit about the book in a moment. So Andy McNab's Bravo 20, this is a true story of the most highly decorated British patrol since the Boer War. An 8-man SAS team inserted behind Iraq lines during the Gulf War in January 1991. Their mission was to take out Scud missiles, which Saddam Hussein had been using to terrorise his enemies, as well as to sever strategic communication lines between Baghdad and northwest Iraq. The top secret mission was called Bravo 20 and was commanded by Sergeant Andy McNab. Of the 8 who went out, only 5 returned. Dropped into Scud Alley carrying 210-pound packs, which are very heavy. McNab and his men soon find themselves surrounded by Saddam's army. Their radios don't work, the weather was brutally cold, and they have been spotted. For the SAS, the Bravo 20 patrol has always been seen with mixed feelings. On one hand, a tale of remarkable endurance and heroism. On the other hand, only one of the 8-man patrol managed to escape death or capture. The one man that managed to escape death or capture was Chris Ryan, and he wrote another book which was called The One That Got Away, and that was made into a TV documentary, I think, about that. Chris Ryan was very vocal in the fact that he believed that the story that Andy McNab wrote wasn't 100% truthful. So there's been a lot of conflict as to how it goes and what was true and what wasn't true, and obviously there's a certain amount of classification that you have to take into account as well. The mission itself is an interesting one to think about, because again they were dropped in a certain point in Iraq and spotted for the SAS and had to make a break for it, and they made a break to the border, which was Jordan, and it was a long way. And regardless of what you think of the books and the story, these guys actually tried to make that, and one of them did make it. Some got picked up beside the border, some got picked up earlier, some got shot, some got killed. I'll try as best I can not to spoil the story, although I will have to talk about a lot of it. So the beginning of the film starts off in 91. The film itself was made in 99. So it starts off around Herefordshire way, and then they get moved, kitted up, and briefed and dropped into Iraq. From there they begin their mission. It doesn't go quite as they expect. They get captured, or some of them get captured, and then ensues a lengthy torture scene, or many torture scenes as it were, in that section of the movie. Then they get moved again to the prison, and we get to the end of the film. I'm not going to tell you what happens exactly, because I do think you should go out and watch this film. So the film itself, if you can call it such a thing, how was it shot? Well, it wasn't a high budget movie from Hollywood, so the quality of it, especially now, is not quite as high as what you would expect. However, it adds to the actual movie itself, because it lets you feel the grittiness of the situation, so I kind of like that. As far as I'm aware, there's no CGI in the film, which again, don't have an issue with. Why would there be CGI in a film like this? You know what I mean? So that doesn't really bother me too much. It's Special effects, well, it depends on how you look at it. I mean, you could say that all of the weaponry that they use, the cars that drive around and get blown up with tanks and things like that, that's all special effects. Well, yeah, technically it is. It's not done in a massive way, it's done in a good way. There was some little bits of music in there. The Clash, for example, is one of the bands that are in there, and that's quite good as well. So, the actors and the acting. Main person that you'll know in the film is Sean Bean. He plays Andy McNab. He doesn't play the role as he now sort of plays the roles in the films. I mean, I have noticed that Sean Bean tends to play a lot of baddies or people who are doomed from the beginning, if you like. Andy McNab obviously wrote the book, so he obviously got out. So therefore, Sean Bean does not die in this film. It's almost a throwback to the time of Sharp when they made that. It's the same sort of feeling, except obviously in a different time scale. Anthony, as you may or may not know, has got a big vested interest in war films. It's his thing, really. Not entirely sure about what it is that he feels about this film, but I can see that he would probably quite like it. The acting itself is very good. They're dropped into a horrendous situation, and the acting follows that. It's one of the films, not one of the films, but it's the film itself does a thing that I like, in the sense that when I watch films, I know that they're films, and I know that people are acting in them, and I know that it's a visual representation of something. So I don't always feel massively immersed in the films themselves. However, in this one, I do remember the first time watching, especially, I forgot entirely that there were actors and really got drawn into the storyline, really got drawn into the acting, and I feel that pretty much every time I watch the film. So the filming, the acting itself is very good. I think I would probably be remiss to not talk about the torture scenes that are in this. Pretty much half the movie is about people who've been captured and the Iraqi troops trying to get information out of them in different ways, different methods. In the book, it's quite graphic as to what happens and how they do it. In the film, it's not quite so graphic. This film hasn't set out to be a Saw type of film where violence and so on is the main part of the film. This film is about telling a story of these guys who, to be fair, got decorated fantastically for the job that they did, even though they managed to really do the job. But you can make your own mind up on that. The acting of the Iraqi troops itself is very good, as we were saying, and the torture scenes themselves are enough to make you think, but not enough to really make you think, well, why did they go that far? It's an interesting way of portraying the torture scenes, because the soldiers themselves go in, up to an extent, healthy. Okay? Yes, they've been captured, yes, they've been beaten up, but they're still healthy. As the scenes go on, because it does go on for quite a while, as the scenes go on, the voice, especially of Sean Bean, changes, because in the book they talk about how they broke his teeth, and you can actually hear that in his voice. He's always clicking his tongue and things like that, and it's attention to detail of things like that that I really like. I mean, it's not a nice sort of it's not a nice thought, if you like, but the way that it was acted was very good. You also felt there is a scene where they're getting tortured really quite badly, and they can hear the airplanes going overhead, and you can hear Andy McNab or Sean Bean, however you want to say it, shouting up to the airplanes and telling them that they're there to come down and bomb them and all this sort of stuff. And then there's an Australian who's in the next cell who just shouts across, "Oh, he doesn't mean it, it doesn't mean it." So the way that the banter is made and the way that it's filmed is very good. I enjoyed that a lot. It goes on from there to a different prison, and the situation changes a bit. The situation changes in the sense that it's not quite as violent anymore, but it's still just as hopeless, if you like. They don't know what's happening, they don't know when it's going to happen, they don't know if they're going to kill them or not going to kill them, or who they're going to kill, if you like. So you do feel that through the scenes. I really like this movie. I think it's very well shot, I think it's very well acted, and it brings forward a story that makes you think. I like the fact that the story is based on a true story. Yes, we use the term based on a true story because obviously, there's a certain amount of classification, there's a certain amount of things that they couldn't put in from the book or didn't put in from the book, just because it's a film, and you just can't always get the 100%. The final sort of aspect of the film is the hopelessness of war, really, in my opinion, especially in this sort of sense. I mean, these guys went in, one escaped, they didn't all come back. They went in for the right reasons and the right purpose, but they didn't, how can you put it? It's not very nice. There's a scene at the end of the movie which has Andy McNab going back to his family, met by his wife and his kid, and they say, psychiatrists came to see us later to see if anybody was, or if we were suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, and it turns out that the psychiatrists were more strung up than we were. I kind of find that unlikely. I know he's putting a brave face on it, I'm the big soldier and all that sort of stuff, but I do find that unlikely. And especially in the sense of the way that the film was made, because it makes you feel like they would have that stress. And that's, again, it's a good way of thinking, because that's, it's good. Not that they have stress, but the way that it's filmed. There's also a line towards the end, and now I can't remember it word for word, but I can remember the basis of it, which basically says, I'm soldier, war is hell. But if you think this is the point where I'm going to tell you that I want to spend the rest of my life cutting trees, you've got another thing coming. I'm a soldier, and nobody said you had to be good at it. The people who tortured us in Iraq, they were just doing a job. Some of them just enjoyed it more than others. If I saw one of them in the street tomorrow and I thought I would get away with it, I'd slap them. And I think that last line, or the last paragraph if you like, sums up the book and the film. It's not something that anybody really wants to be involved in, but somebody has to do it. These guys went through a lot, and I think the film is a testament to the things that they went through. Whether you believe or not, the story is up to you, or whether you believe the whole story, if you like, is up to you. But looking at it as a film, it's very, very good. It's almost a sort of independent film, except it isn't, because obviously it's BBC, but we like the way that the independent films are made and produced, and this has an independent film feel to it. It also has a similar feel to a film that we watched recently called Dead Man's Shoes, which was also about a paratrooper, but that was a slightly different story. So Bravo 20, I can't give it, a massively high number. I can't give it a 9 or a 10, but what I can do is give it a 6 or a 7. It's a good film, it's worth a watch. It'll make you think, and I'd love to know your opinion on the actual film itself and of my review. I do think you should go out and buy it, if you can still buy it. I mean, I had it on VHS when it came out, so I'm sure it's still available through different things. Amazon, I'm sure, will have it on DVD, but of course, if you want to look at parts of it, or possibly the whole of it, I'm sure YouTube will have it on there as well. It's kind of your choice in that sort of context, but it is worth a watch. For those who've already seen it, please give me a shout, let me know what you think. For those who haven't seen it and are going to go out and see it for the first time, again, give me a shout, leave me a comment, and let me know what you think. As always, this is HMR. Please like the page, please like the Facebook page, the YouTube page. We are on Instagram. The name or address, or whatever you want to call it, that will be popping up towards the end of this video. All the likes that you give us, all the views and the shares help us produce more videos, and hope you like the content that's been going up recently. Give Bravo 20 a look.